Hello, the chronically online. I gotta set up the camera here. Oh, there we go. Oh, oopsies. Here we go. Alright. I'm going to make this video for those who are chronically online looking to get off the internet. As in, I'm not saying permanently or anything. If you want to use it in your daily life, that's fine. All I'm saying is what to do to not be chronically online. Now, I know, despite what the title says, that it may seem a little misleading to you because I look like a chronically online person, which I kind of am, but, you have to, in order to get people chronically offline, you have to be chronically online yourself a little bit. That's the thing I tend to do, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to get the chronically online to be, well, offline. So, how do you do that? How do you suppose you, the individual watching this, become offline? You say, how do I do this? How should I become the offline? First of all, the fact that you're even watching this video just proves that you want to be offline. Second of all, when was the last time you thought of something in your real life that is, offline? Are you driving right now? Make sure you're paying attention to the road. If you're shitting right now, go pay attention to your shit. If you're doing something that requires your immediate attention, go do that right now. Okay? And then come back to this video later when you have the time. Alright? Now, for those who don't have that, I want to let you know that I want you to, again, not necessarily take the internet out of your life, just use it as sort of a window into your real life, so that way you don't have to be online. You don't have to know the latest drama. You don't have to know what goes on and whatever. You don't have to know the old and the new and the current. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to learn every meme. You don't have to know every single form of existence, so to speak. You don't have to learn everything online. Not everything revolves around that. Okay? What I want you to do is, whenever you think about doom scrolling, doing that kind of stuff, what kind of stuff would you want to do in real life? What is the thing you always wanted to do? Like, should you be doing something right now? Should you not be doing something? Is there something you have to do? Do you have to take a shower, maybe? Do you have to take out the trash? Do you have to do the dishes? I don't know. I'm not you. Now, again, I'm not trying to force you to do this. This is still optional. It is literally your choice. All that I ask is that, regardless if you're online or offline, at least when you're thinking, think for yourself, regardless if it's niche or mainstream or your own original thing. At least think for yourself, okay? If you disagree with something, it better be something you actually disagree about. If you agree with something, it better be actually something you agree upon. And if you're neutral about something, obviously you gotta be actually neutral about it. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily you have to be always this way or that way, but if you're going to have an opinion, if you're going to have a thought, at least let it be the real one, okay? At least let it be the one you're actually going to have, because if you don't, it can cost you in the future for when you do want to share those opinions, but all of a sudden now you can't express those opinions because you didn't let them do it. But I'm not saying you have to scold people who disagree with you or force everybody who agrees with you to make it exactly this way. Nobody's going to exactly agree with you or disagree with you. Things are allowed to be good or evil, like, or neutral. But it doesn't necessarily have to be, in all cases. Now, in some scenarios it can be, but it depends on the situation and it depends on who you are. And I cannot tell you what those things are because I want you to figure that on your own. Why figure that out on your own? Why do I say this? So that way you don't have to look at me to do all the work for you. You can actually do what you want to do without needing other people to help you. You can just do it yourself without having to worry about the problem of, oh man, I need another person to do everything for me. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you don't appreciate yourself, how well are you going to be if you try to appreciate others? You're not going to be very well. And I want to make this very clear. I am neither your ally, neither your enemy. Alright? I'm simply just somebody giving advice. So, again, this entire thing is completely optional. So, whatever you do with this information is entirely up to you as an individual. Okay? Because if the individuals of the group can believe, then the entire group, even if they don't believe in all the same exact thing, as long as they believe in what they consider the real truth, then free will is yours. Alright? Free will is truly yours. It is what it is. Okay? You are yourself. Even if that means you're a side character, non-player character. You're a side NPC that nobody thinks about. Or you're the main character to your own story. Even if that's the case, whatever you may be, a spectrum, I suppose, you got to do stuff in real life to the point where you don't need to be online all the time. It's optional, you don't have to view it as oh, I must do this, I must be in this, I must be a part of this. My bro sended me memes. My bro sended me memes. Okay, you don't have to go crazy or, oh, they did drama. They got into the politics and the religion and the sports or whatever you're into. I don't know. Crazy things they say, whatever goes on in your time period. I'm not sure when you're watching this, but all I'm saying is just live your real life in real life and just, regardless of how mainstream or niche it is, if you want to live a good life, you have to not let it be always online, Because one day there might not be a time where, say, people are very online anymore. There may be a time where people are generally offline. So you might miss out on a lot of things. You might miss out on a lot of milestones. I don't know where you are in life. I don't know how old you are or how young you are. But if you're genuinely missing out on time you could have had with friends or family, even if it's just as simple as that one relative you don't really think about or that one friend you haven't seen in a while, at least give it a chance, Because at least then you'll have something, You'll have something. Just try to be a good person, whatever that means to you. Try to be, moral. Try to be whatever you think is the best life for you, where instead of forcing yourself to just live in the digital world, instead of doing that, live in a world where you can have a real life. You can have a life where you can think for yourself and not have to worry about, what's the latest drama? What's going on in the news? What's, you know, the scroll, 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 like, it really gets in your head. It really gets in your fucking head. I don't know how to set this straightforward to you. But all I can say is, at least consider it. At least consider it. Consider living in real life, So that way you can at least enjoy the time you have while you're still alive in this existence that you currently acquire. So, that's pretty much it. If you agree or disagree, that's up to you. You have free will if you want to say you do. But until you get yourself out of your own self-slavery, who knows if you require, offline sentience, I guess you could call it, or offline being smart offline, like actually smart, that kind of thing. Not just saying it, not just doing it, but actually knowing stuff, actually knowing how to read and write, actually knowing how to think for yourself. But regardless, again, it's totally up to your free will. But that's pretty much all I got to say for today's video. And again, like I said many times, this video that you're watching is completely optional. You didn't have to watch this video. It was your decision in the first place, not mine. I'm just simply the guy who uploaded it at the time of, when it was uploaded. And you're watching this whenever you're watching this. Unpredictable. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I shall see you later. Or probably not. Don't know. You can like it, dislike it, whatever you want to do. Up to you. Free will, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I think you get the idea. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.